So, Brittany, tell the good people why you're into watches.
Very good question. How long do you have?
I've got all day.
Oh, perfect. Hey guys, and welcome back to Bob's Watches. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Brittany, aka Watch Gringa, and I've got my own YouTube channel where I basically just drink whiskey and talk about watches. And Bob's Watches has asked me if I'd come on their channel a couple times a month and do just that. Drink whiskey and talk watches. But today, I'm drinking a cup of tea. I'm feeling a bit under the weather, really, and I live in England, so that's what the people here do. Don't they, love?
Yes. Very British.
I don't drink coffee, I drink tea.
Copyright.
Yeah. So today, for my first video on Bob's, I thought we would talk about why I'm into watches and show you guys some of my watch collection. We've got a lot to talk about today, so let's get into it. So for me, watches is a relatively new love affair that all began with my husband buying me my first, nicer watch, which was my Cartier Tank Solo. And from that watch, it's all evolved and morphed into a full-on passion. So I married a watch geek, didn't I?
You did. You lucky, lucky woman.
Oh, I think I should say as well, I introduced myself, but my husband's usually off to the side on my videos.
This is a pretty standard MO for Brittany, that she forgets to talk about me. Because she's talking about herself.
All right. And he usually just chips in, I don't want to say mean,
Insightful.
unhelpful quips.
Insightful, I would say.
And he doesn't like to show his face though, that's kind of his thing. He's one of those watch guys. You're such a mystery.
Face for podcasts.
I've been told I have one of those myself. But my husband was always really into watches, and guys, honestly, I thought it was so stupid. Why would you spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a Rolex just to tell you at the same time that your iPhone can tell you? Why? I don't get it. I didn't get it. And I remember, before I was into watches, I thought he was crazy because he would watch YouTube videos like I do now and we're doing now. I thought it was so stupid. I was like, he watches YouTube videos about watches. I don't know. I didn't get it. It's just a thing to tell you the time. Why are you so obsessed with this little thing that just tells you the time? And I was never really a person for flashy things as well. I didn't, grow up with much money or anything. I think before I received my Cartier Tank, this was the most expensive thing I owned. 1997 Dodge Grand Caravan. Oh my gosh. But eventually he wore me down, and for our first wedding anniversary, he got me my Cartier Tank Solo. Now the Tank was actually the first watch I ever really noticed people wearing. I noticed all these elegant women throughout history all seem to have this similar / same watch. So really what initially got me into watches was noticing all these beautiful women were wearing this watch. It was the first piece in helping me understand why people like watches so much. And kind of beginning to understand ooh, maybe this is something a little bit more than just something to tell the time. What if these are actually more like little machines that are the intersection of like art, fashion, history, and engineering? So you might notice my tank is really beat up. I've worn this watch a lot. And it was my one watch collection for a really long time. She's just a quartz little number, but you know, for a long time, it really was the most expensive thing I ever owned and the most generous gift I was ever given.
Oh, what a sweetie.
Oh. Yeah, so this watch definitely was like the first clicks in being like, maybe this is something more than just a thing to tell the time. It was like my first click in becoming a watch geek. But I wasn't like fully on the watch geek lifestyle. Like I wasn't there yet. I was beginning my way on the journey, getting down that road. Now, onto the one that truly got me into the hobby, and it's my Tudor Black Bay 58. With my tank, I was kind of like dipping my toes in, seeing if I like the water, beginning to get into watches. But I would say this is the watch that pushed me into being like a full out geek. So this was the first watch I ever had with some like proper specs. And it was my first dive watch as well. And only dive watch. With my tank, it was like my first click in becoming a watch geek. I was kind of like getting the fashion part of it. I was kind of getting like the history part. But the Black Bay 58 like hits in a different way. It helped me begin to understand the engineering part that goes into our watches. So the Black Bay 58 has an in-house movement, COSC certified, caliber MT5402, 70-hour power reserve, screw-down crown, 200 meters water resistance, all housed in a 39mm case, this perfect size, and is inspired by their vintage dive watches. No, it was this watch that actually inspired me to like make watch social media pages. So because of this watch, I loved like taking pictures of it and videos of it. And I was posting all my, you know, wrist shots to my own Instagram. Nobody was caring. So I thought, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna make some new friends. I'm gonna start my own dedicated watch page. And from there came my watch YouTube page. Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been such a journey. But yeah, I would say this one sealed the deal in making me like a full-on watch lover. And I think it's so funny how quickly and easily our attitudes can change. In just a couple short years, I went from thinking watches are stupid to being like absolutely obsessed with these fantastic little timepieces. For me, I became a watch geek because I realized it's so much more than just a thing to tell you the time. I used to always measure it as like, oh, I can tell the time on my phone. Why do I need a watch? But for me, there was this moment of like, I get it. I get it now. You know? They really are this intersection of art, history, fashion, and engineering. And for me, in this modern world we find ourselves in where we're glued to our phones, TVs, iPads, all these blue screens all the time. All day long I'm looking at like emails on my work laptop and There's something so magical about a mechanical watch. This thing that was made by like, could you say an artisan?
Yes.
An artisan. This human ingenuity and engineering, it's the simplicity of just like knowing the time and the date. But on the inside is this world of like nuance and ingenuity and complexity. It's amazing, isn't it? It's cool. So that's kind of where my collection started. Now in my collection I have a couple of Rolexes. So I have a Rolex Oyster Perpetual. In my opinion, the most versatile watch on the market. And I have a Rolex Daytona. I mean, I feel like this is a watch that needs no introduction. Truly an icon of watch collecting. 40mm, and I've got the ceramic bezel stainless steel. But yeah, that's why I'm a watch geek, and some of the pieces in my collection I have right now. So what about you guys? I would love to hear in the comments down below. Why are you a watch geek? How did you become obsessed with watches? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you're not following Bob's Watches, come on now, give us a follow. Don't forget to like this video, give us a comment.
Maybe a subscription?
Probably a subscription. Feed those algorithm gods. Ciao for now, and hopefully see you next time. I'm back on Bob's Watches.
Bye.
Toodles. My outros are definitely my worst part. I have a really hard time.